Hello, all. So far, we have heard several stories on courage, not just in India but also in many other countries. For example, the King of Prussia, Frederick the Great. From Sweden, Gustavus Adolphus. King of Macedonia, Alexander the Great. And amongst these great warriors, there is one more name. That is the Supreme King of France, Napoleon Bonaparte the Great. Napoleon's story of courage and victory inspire all of us even today. Thank you. The global history has several stories of so many warriors who have won our hearts by their courageous acts. And they rule the hearts of many even today. No act is neither small nor difficult. The approach of a person and his determination towards it makes it achievable. And that is how one can make the impossible possible, like the way the great Napoleon Bonaparte did it in his life. Napoleon's acts of courage sent shivers down his enemies' spines. Let us understand the great Napoleon Bonaparte's interesting journey from a common man to a powerful and brave king of his times. Napoleon Bonaparte was born in an affluent family in Ajaccio that was situated in Corsica Island of France on 15th August in 1769. His father, Carlo Bonaparte, was a representative in the Empire of King of France in Corsica. Napoleon had a beautiful childhood as he was born in an affluent French family. Hence, he was privileged to have a great educational background since childhood. In addition to this, his family sent him to become a soldier in the France Military Academy after seeing his war-fighting capabilities. He then completed his graduation from a college in Paris in the year 1785. He was then appointed the sub-lieutenant in the regiment in France. Unfortunately, his father passed away during this time. He looked after his 7 brothers and sisters after his demise. One day, he decided to travel to the Alps mountain with his army. But everyone knew that climbing such a huge mountain was no small feat. The army was not sure if this should be done. When the army started climbing, they met an old woman on their way. She said, "Why do you want to die? This is impossible." But her advice encouraged Napoleon even more. He gifted a beautiful diamond necklace to the old woman and said, "Thank you. You multiplied my enthusiasm to achieve it even more. If I survive the climb, then please cheer for me, dear." The woman said to him, "You are the first person who was not discouraged and scared after listening to my advice. A person who dares to achieve his goals and face all obstacles can never fail in his mission." Napoleon Bonaparte successfully climbed the Alps. His many acts of courage and determination inspire many even today. The great leader of France, Napoleon Bonaparte, won most difficult war of his life in the year 1805. He defeated the armies of Austria and Russia with his great war-fighting capabilities. He successfully killed more than 26,000 soldiers of the enemy's army during this war. From the year 1805 to the year 1811, by defeating the armies of Holland, Germany, Italy, Austria, he made a remarkable victory in the history of Europe. We all have studied many historic dates of several great warriors in history during our school days. We even studied about some great warriors in depth, but with the time, we also tend to forget some facts that we would have read. We have even studied about the French emperors. Napoleon Bonaparte and the Waterloo War in school. The War of Waterloo marked the end of the Napoleon the Great, who conquered most places in Europe. But do you know the reason of this defeat was nothing but the rain? It might sound bizarre to you, but you would be shocked to know that the sole reason of Napoleon's defeat was the rain, which was recently also proved by a London-based geologist called Matthew in his research. It is believed that the War of Waterloo between the army of Napoleon and that of the coalition forces lasted for 10 hours. Many historians have confirmed that it rained heavily during the War of Waterloo, due to which Napoleon's army found it difficult to fight back. One of the other mistakes he committed during this war was that he utilized the horse riding capabilities of his soldiers quite late. This actually benefited the opposing forces. The soil became wet due to the rain, which made it difficult for Napoleon's army to fight back, though the heavy rains were not cited as the reason for Napoleon's defeat that time. After defeating Napoleon and his army in the Waterloo War, Britain captivated him and his army for 6 years in the island of southern Atlantic called St. Helena. And in the year 1821, Napoleon Bonaparte succumbed due to stomach cancer. And this is how Napoleon the Great conquered many countries in Europe and won many hearts for his acts of courage. He also became the great king in global history. Napoleon's acts of victory and courage can inspire each one of us.